The first dog that we have for you today is Mylo, and Mylo is an energetic young dog, like most of the dogs that we have, to be honest. But he's very friendly, very playful. If you're looking for a high energy dog and you have plenty of ways to keep him active and busy, then he will be a great fit for you. He loves to play. As you can see, he walked in, you know, he sniffed out some treats, and then he was like, boom, toys. I'm here for it. He is the kind of guy that he might need a little space if you're, you know, in a toy room, because he likes to throw them in the air for himself and then chase after them, slide across the floor. You know, he gets the zoomies, but he is capable of doing what he's doing right now, which is just kind of laying there and chewing on his toys quietly by himself as well. One of the big things about Mylo is that he can get a little overstimulated sometimes. So we want to make sure that we have plenty of ways to de-escalate him. So, you know, he has a really good sit, you know, so you can put him in a sit and give him a treat, or we can use things like Find It to distract him with things on the floor, touch, all kinds of things that you can work with on him to kind of get him to de-escalate any of those situations. And because he's super treat motivated, it's going to make training him and teaching him those things very easy. The more often you do it, the better he's going to be. And anytime you're training a dog, just because he's learned it doesn't mean you should stop doing it. Maintenance is important. If you know you teach your dog to sit and then you never ask him and have him sit, eventually he's gonna be like, well, it doesn't matter anymore, right? So you know, maintenance with those things, even if you're not needing them all the time, you want to make sure that you're going through and making sure that he remembers those tasks. He's been pretty good with the other dogs according to his behavior assessment. He's had positive reactions to them, so it's possible that he could live with a canine friend. But you want to make sure that you're doing those proper meet and greets to make sure that everything is nice and safe.
So Mylo was actually adopted, but they returned him. What happened?
So he was adopted for about a day, and then unfortunately he was brought back. You know, I mentioned earlier that he can sometimes get a little overstimulated, and he was in the backyard playing with you know, a young teenager. And we think it was a game of tug gone wrong, basically. Mylo's favorite game is tug. He loves to tug. And, you know, if it gets to that point where he's a little overstimulated, stops grabbing the toy, worked his way up a sleeve, was chewing on the sleeve, and didn't really want to let go because he was in the middle of play. So that's where it's important to talk about de-escalating those situations. And there's also rules for games of tug, like the proper way to play tug so that he doesn't get to that point. And our staff is now working with Mylo to really introduce him to that outlet of tug, but in a proper way so that he learns the game, so that then we can teach his new owners to make sure that escalation doesn't happen in the future. It was just a minor incident, but it did apparently scare the people who adopted him. So they felt he wasn't the right dog for him. And as a result of that, we've also changed the recommendations for ages for children in the home with Mylo from any age to teenagers and older, just to make sure that they are able to kind of work through that and follow directions. But if you're ready for a high energy dog and you know you're ready to learn the game, the rules of tug, you can visit Mylo by going to visitfcac.as.me and booking that appointment.